Hello, my name is Breeana and I'm studying primary education. I enjoy going to the beach and I love my family and I enjoy spending time with them. I enjoy the spontaneous events that go on with my friends, whether that's catching up for coffee or heading down to see some band that we like. My life firstly starts off with wanting to have this relationship with God and wanting Him to be the centre of my life, and then everything from that changed. So growing up, my parents went to church and they're Christian, which is really cool. And yeah, looking back, I can't pinpoint every single thing that brought to me to know Jesus, because there were so many people and so many talks that influenced my life and brought to me to where I was the day that I really did commit myself to Jesus. But at the time, there's this camp going on that Uncle was running, and yeah, I was invited to go along to it. I was really hesitant, I didn't want to go, but I went, because my cousins are going to be there and I love them. And then I went knowing who Jesus was and what He had done, but not knowing what it meant for my life and how it's going to affect me. So going to that and having talks every day that really just applied to my life and applied to what I was going home to, which is really cool, distancing myself from my life on the Gold Coast and taking that week off to hear about Jesus' word. And having small groups with a bunch of girls who are in the same position as me, especially one girl who just resembled the life I had back home if I didn't choose to follow Jesus, and looking at her going, there's so many unanswered questions in her life and so many worries that she has that I know I won't have when I decide to follow Jesus. So at the end of that camp, I really, especially my uncle, could see how on fire I was for God and going, this is it, I'm going to take this back home and yeah, love Jesus in my life and take this seriously, because Jesus is someone who does change your life. And before that I was just a typical Sunday Christian where I'd go to church and nothing else would be affected by what I learnt, but coming home from that I was someone who said, you know what, Jesus is the King of my life. And I remember writing that in capital letters at the end of the book, going like, Jesus is the King of my life, and He has my life now, which is so cool. And just thinking back, like how much I just go, this isn't my life to have anyone else's. One of the things that me and my friend were just reading the other day in Matthew was not worrying, you know, the birds and all that, how God takes care of them. And I think that was one of the big things, being such a worrywart that I am, just going, you know what, life isn't here to worry about, and we're in for God's mission and His focus, and everything else that I'm worrying is just going to fall away. So it's so pointless and just ridiculous. So that was something that changed, but also having a purpose for what I do things. So before I became a Christian, I was a good girl in a sense, like I didn't do all these crazy things that everyone else did, but I didn't know why. Like there was nothing really stopping me from doing these things. I just didn't want to, and I was like not really bothered. But in becoming a Christian, I went, you know what, actually there is a reason why I don't swear and I don't pull other people down. Not saying that I'm perfect and I don't do these things all the time, but there's a reason, and there's a love that I can give, yeah, that's coming through Jesus and what He's done. Yeah. God created the world and He did create it perfect, but man stuffed that up. But God didn't leave that like that. He sent His Son Jesus to bring forgiveness. We seek a relationship with God, or we don't, and we do go to hell because of it, which is really scary thought. But when you know that, you do have the choice and you can make the decision to follow God. So I think, yeah, being a Christian is knowing that, and knowing that following Jesus is going to be hard, but it's so going to be worth it.